Hi, and welcome to the Frog Pond School of Design, where we like to talk about things architectural. And what's more architectural than blueprints? Yeah, blueprints, those paper documents that are the primary means of communication between an architect and a contractor, the designer and the builder, however you want to put it. So, what's the history of these guys? Well, and why are they called blueprints? Traditionally, they've been either blue lines on a white background or white lines on a blue background. Now, how did that all come about? Well, back in the 1800s, a guy named John Herschel developed what became known as the cyanotype printing, which was really done for documenting natural specimens of one kind or another. But they finally decided this would work for architectural drawings because what you needed to do was make a contact print. So you put an original on the paper that was going to become the blueprint, expose it somehow, develop it, very much like a photographic process is done today. So this process involved chemicals being spread on a sheet of paper, and then the drawing done on a transparency of some sort, tracing paper or whatever, would be put on top of that and run under an ultraviolet light. The ultraviolet light would fix those chemicals and they would turn blue. And then when it came out the other end, you quickly would wash that print in water. That was kind of the developing medium, and the chemicals that had not been fixed by the light would wash away, so you ended up with a nice white line on a very blue background. And this worked wonderfully for a long time. It was a chemically intense process, and involved the water and wetness and all that sort of thing, so it wasn't ideal, but it worked. And we had blueprints. Then somewhere around the middle of the 20th century, they came up with a similar but kind of a reverse process. They used a chemical that was it was actually a diazinium salt on the paper. And you could buy this paper ready treated, nice and dry. And then you did the contact print, same thing, ran it through the processor. The difference here was this time the light burned off the chemical, except where the opaque line work on the original blocked the light. So when it came out the other end, the yellow was gone. You ran it through the developer, and what was left, just the line work, that turned blue. That was fine. Now, the developer side of this, however, used a heated ammonia concentration, and that created quite an odor. I mean, they would quickly roll these things up. They didn't get really wet, but there was a little dampness there. And you take these back to the office, and you lay them on the spread table, and you roll them out. Whoosh! It would wake you up in a hurry. So the odor and all that wasn't, again, ideal, but it worked. It was less expensive. It involved less intense chemicals, so it pretty well took over the industry. The developing, again, was easier, but that really kind of became the process. So where'd they go from there? Well, the other thing is, you didn't want to get a paper cut with that ammonia stuff. Don't ask me how I know. The next step was, 20, 30 years ago, with the advent of xerography on a large enough scale that it kind of took over this business. So today, blueprints are gone. The line work is black on white. You can even do color if you want. You don't have to have all these machines. You can take an original and run it through a large flatbed scanner, and that will convert it to a file that it'll send to the printer, and it'll print that out. or you can run into the print room with your thumb drive and your drawings on there, or from your computer where you did the drawing, you just send it to the printer and it printed out and everything's hunky-dory. Interestingly enough, though, that original cyanotype that was done 150 years ago, it's still around, and it's very popular now as a craft idea where people take it out and they put little plants on it or other things. And actually, you can develop a photographic negative on it. It's just that the result is going to be blue instead of whatever color you happen to have there. So interesting little bit of history there, and why we call these, if you're new to the business, you don't remember those other drawings and you're pulling out new drawings that are black on white and you're saying, why do they call these blueprints? Well, some people just still call them blueprints. So thanks for joining us today on the Frog Pond School of Design. I look forward to seeing you hanging around the pond again real soon.